Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be opening ourselves up physically and emotionally to something that I really have personally benefited from and witnessed the happiest people embrace every single day. And whether you call it a philosophy or a way of being, it's a state that's not particularly hard to produce at all. It's actually fairly easy and incredibly good for you. And that state is gratitude. And if you're like me at all, sometimes you feel like there's absolutely nothing to be thankful for. Everything's a mess and it's one crisis to the next. But when you do allow yourself to really pay attention to what's happening around you, to the people in your life, and to what's happening inside, you can find a lot that is good for you. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. And we're going to get started on our hands and knees into tabletop position. Shoulders over your hands, knees over your hips, and we're going to walk our hands forward. Melt your chest down to the floor into puppy pose. You'll want your booty over your knees in this position. And you can bring chin forward if you'd like a different kind of sensation. We're going to hang out here for a few breaths. Start to readjust your knees, spread them out, and bring your toes together into a child's pose as you walk your hands forward left. We're going to hang out here for a few breaths as well. The further your knees are apart, the stronger the sensation. And if you're looking for a lighter sensation, you can bring your knees closer together. And start to walk your hands forward so that you're facing center in a regular child's pose. Forward folds are wonderful poses for embracing what is, accepting what is happening, and letting go our expectations of ourselves and breathing through those feelings. And walk your hands over to the right. Really feel that side stretch from your left shoulder down into your rib cage and breathe into that nice juicy stretch. And you can begin to walk your hands in. Slowly walk yourself upright into a seated position. We're going to be bringing our legs out in front of us. Bring our heels together, knees bent at about a 45-degree angle. And you can bend on forward into that nice and passively, letting your spine round. I like to keep my palms facing up so that I let gravity do the work. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Don't worry about pushing or pulling yourself right here at this moment. Just let your body fall naturally how it likes to. Gonna lift on up and bring your heels in into a butterfly position. Some people grab their toes, which can put strain on your ankles, so I grab the ankles instead. And use your elbows to push your knees further down and gently fold forward. Even doing a short practice like this is an extremely lucky position to be in. And we'll lift back up. Cross our feet at the ankles and lean forward. Tuck our toes under and lift our booties up into downward dog. Lean into one leg and then into the other. Really feel into those calves. Paddle the feet forward, left and right. I like to bounce into my downward dog. Now we're going to lift up our right leg and bend into that right knee. Really twist your hip up into the sky, knee to nose, and we're going to bring our right knee next to our right hand, our left foot extended out behind us, and you can keep your wrists down to keep yourself balanced, Or you can lift your arms up into the sky and look up only if that's comfortable for you. We're not going to stay here for long. You could bring your arms back down, and we're going to bend forward into another forward fold. Really stretch into that right hip. Something that I'm thankful for is being able to watch the seasons turn. I'm lucky enough where I live, I get all 4 of them, but some people only get winter. Okay, we're going to lift up and transition back into downward dog just to get into our counter pose. Bring your right knee forward and walk your hands backward into a nice forward stretch, feeling it in your hamstrings. And we're going to walk our hands forward, bring our foot back into plank position, gently lower yourself to the ground, into cobra, breathing in and breathing out, back into downward dog. So we're going to do that on the other side. Left leg up, bend into the sky, and stretch your hip up, knee to nose, and left knee next to left hand. Extend your right leg out behind you. Lift your arms up or keep them down. Totally normal for one side to feel different from the other. If there are any men joining along in this video, I'm not really sure how this pose would affect you, but good luck. Regardless of who you are, we are going to engage with our imaginations in the last portion of this video. Earlier I talked about how easy it is to bring out certain states of mind, and gratitude is one that requires a little bit of creativity. So as we rise up into our counter stretch, I want you to think about something bad that currently is not happening to you. We're talking about something simple, a minor inconvenience, a power outage. We know how frustrating it is when it happens. Sometimes our devices are on low and we can't charge them. Our Wi-Fi cuts out and we can't finish our work. Maybe it affects your plumbing too, and then you don't have running water. But the chances are, if you're watching this video right now, you have power. We're gonna lower our knees to the floor and sit back on our heels. We're going to extend our left leg out in front of us and gently lie down into a nice quad stretch. And you could bring your arms up behind you to intensify this feeling. Getting back into our imaginations. We all know what it's like to be without power for a few hours or maybe even a few days. Okay, bring your right knee up and cross it over your left hip. Extend your right arm out to the side into a side stretch. And imagine that you lost power indefinitely. You don't know when you're going to get it back. You don't know when your next shower will be. Come back to center and just hug your knees in before we switch that sequence over to the other side. Ease on down. And while we're living in this scenario where we can't shower again, where you can't feel the warm water hitting your skin, raining from above, and I want you to recognize that this impossible scenario is the acute reality that nearly 2 billion people face every single day. 2 billion people who don't have access to adequate sanitation. And this isn't about feeling bad that you do have access. It's understanding that we are so lucky. Bring our legs back to center, and we're just gonna let our knees fall out to the sides. Gently bounce them, let your hips open a little more, and Roll to your side to pick yourself back up. And sit however's comfortable. You can close your eyes if you'd like as we close this practice. We don't always choose our circumstances in life. We don't even choose where we end up, where we're born, what nationality we are, but we can choose how we focus and how we respond. So thank you for joining me and for giving me something more precious than anything else in the world: your attention.